Alright, hello and welcome. This is going to be a fun opening packs video for the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy crossover. I have long awaited this release, and I've got a lot of packs that we are going to open today to see what we get. I did also get two of the commander decks, one of which I've already opened just because I was kind of impatient, but I got the Tidus Final Fantasy X deck, and I also got the Final Fantasy VI Terra commander deck. There's two other commander decks. There's a Final Fantasy VII Cloud deck, and there's a Final Fantasy XIV Y'shtola deck. I couldn't find those anywhere. I'm going to keep my eye out for them. If I ever get those, maybe I'll do a part 2 later on. But I'm going to save these for last because the commander decks have a set 100 cards in them, so it's not going to be random. I think the most fun of this video is going to be opening the booster packs, which are going to have just a random 14 cards, not particularly linked to any specific Final Fantasy. And I've got a lot of packs, so I'm just going to start opening them up, seeing what we get, and kind of show off the cards, and we'll kind of go from there. I did get this sticker sheet from the local shop. They were left over from the pre-release event that was last night that I was not able to attend, but they had these left, so they just gave me one. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm probably going to take these stickers and put them on my card box after I get all these cards opened and compiled together. But I mean, yeah, let's see what we end up getting. I got a pair of scissors handy just in case these are hard to open, but I'm pretty sure I remember how to do it. Alright. There's an art card. That is Shadow and Interceptor from Final Fantasy VI. That is really cool looking. Alright. We got Sephiroth's Intervention, which destroys a target creature, and you gain 2 life. We got Gigantitoad. As long as you control 7 or more lands, this creature gets +2/+2. We got a Rook Turret. It's a flying creature. Whenever another artifact you control enters, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. That's from Final Fantasy XIV. We got Aerith Rescue Mission. Sorcery, choose 1. Take the elevator. Create 3 1/1 colorless hero tokens. Or take 59 flights of stairs. Tap up to 3 target creatures. Put a stun counter on one of them. And we got Blazing Bomb. Elemental, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a +1 counter on this creature. Then you can also blow it up. Sacrifice this creature, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. Fight On. Final Fantasy VII's boss battle theme. Instant, return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. These are really cool looking cards. Really cool art. Just hang in there. Someday we'll look back at these hard times and laugh. We got a land card, Adventures Inn. Gain 2 life when this land enters. It's from Final Fantasy 3. Welcome, we have rooms for 200 gil a night. Would you like to stay and rest your body and mind? And we got a borderless land. No, is that a land card? No, it's an artifact. Put a point counter on this artifact. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter from this artifact. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, put a point counter on this artifact. Then if it has 10 or more point counters on it, remove them all and the player loses the game. Interesting. Yeah, borderless. Oh, we got Lionheart. Greatest limit break in the series. Artifact. Equipment. When this equipment enters, it deals 2 damage to the target. Equipped creature gets a +2/+1. Lions are known for their great strength and pride. That's a cool looking art. Dark Knight's Greatsword. Job select. I've heard about these. This is a new terminology for the Final Fantasy crossover. When this equipment enters, you create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token and then attach this card to it. Equipped creature gets a +3/+0 and is a knight in addition to its other types. Chaosbringer. Equip, pay 3 life. Activate only once per turn. We got Quina from Final Fantasy 9. Legendary creature. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus a 1/1 green frog creature token are created instead. Sacrifice a frog. Put a +1/+1 counter on Quina. World only have 2 things. Things you can eat and things you can no eat. Words I personally want to live by. And then we've got our first rare card, From Father to Son. Sorcery. Search your library for a vehicle card, reveal it, put it into your hand. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, put the card onto the battlefield instead. Then shuffle. Flashback 4 mana cost. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Okay. And there's our foil. Item Shopkeep. Whenever you attack, target attacking equipped creature gains menace until end of turn. It can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. And that looks like a basic land plains card. So the rare was the 3rd from the last card. I'll try to remember that for when I open the rest of these packs. But yeah, that was pack 1. And we have a lot more to go. I'll try to speed this up too. Sorry, I'm just enjoying looking at everything. We got a hero card, token, creature, hero, and then a wizard. Alright, so let me see if this holds true. I want to move those to the front. Alright, we've got Gladiolus from Final Fantasy 15. When Gladiolus enters, search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, another target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample until the end of the turn. That's a nice looking card. We got a land card, Gungaga. We got the, I wouldn't even know how to pronounce this, Kikhirn Merchant from Final Fantasy 11. We got a Slash of Light. Slash of Light deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control plus the number of equipment you control to target creature. Warrior of Light. We got Red Mage's Rapier. It's an artifact, equipment, job select. Equipped creature has, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1, +2, +0 until end of turn, and is a wizard in addition to its other types. That's cool looking. We got Black Mage's Rod, another artifact. Job select. Equipped creature gets +1, +0. Has whenever you cast, pretty much the same thing as the Red Mage. We got Airship Crash. Final Fantasy 9. Just our luck to crash in this forest. It's going to get interesting. We got Retrieve the Esper. Final Fantasy 6. Create a 3/3 blue robot warrior, artifact creature token. Then, if the spell was cast from the graveyard, put 2 +1 counters on that token. We got Vincent's Limit Break. It's tiered, which means that you can choose any of these 3, depending on how much mana you have. Until end of turn, target creature you control gains, when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control, and has the chosen base power and toughness. Galleon Beast has a 3/2, Death Gigas 5/2, Hellmasker 7/2. That's cool. Samurai's Katana. Another job select. Equipped creature gets +2, +2, has trample and haste. Nice. Restoration Magic. Another tiered. You can cast Cure, Cura, or Curaga. We got Tidus, Blitzball Star. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put a +1, +1 counter on Tidus. Whenever Tidus attacks, tap target creature and opponent controls. Every blitzer knows when you got the ball, you got to score. Got another Borderless Ambrosia from Final Fantasy 16. It's an uncommon. When Ambrosia enters, you may return another permanent you control to its owner's hands. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, Ambrosia gets +1, +0 until end of turn. And then Ninja Blades, a rare artifact. Equipped creature gets +1, +1. Is a ninja in addition to its other types, and has whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. That player loses life equal to the discarded card's mana value. Very interesting. Alright, we got a Moogle token creature, and another hero from Final Fantasy 14. Alright, we got Fate of the Suncrist. We got Treno, Dark City, as a land card. That's really cool artwork. We got a Dwarven Castle Guard. We got Thunder Magic, tiered. Thunder, Thundara, Thundaga. Resentful Revelation from Final Fantasy 7. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest in your graveyard. We got Blitzball Shot. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample. Combat Tutorial. Grand Pulse Ochu. It's got Death Touch. Instant Ramen from Final Fantasy 15. Artifact Food. When this artifact enters, draw a card. Sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. Shambling Seath. Final Fantasy 13. This creature enters tapped. We got our first summon card, Summon Shiva. Heavenly Strike and Diamond Dust. Enchantment creature. It's there anything on the back too? Nope. Some of the summon cards have front and back. We got Saz's Chocobo. Whenever a land you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. We got our first transformation card. We've got Garland, Knight of Cornelia. Legendary creature. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, surveil 1, which is look at the top card of your library. If you spend that amount of mana, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield transformed. And then the transformation is on the back. And he transforms into Chaos. Chaos the Endless. Legendary creature. He's got flying. And then it says, when Chaos dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. Even as you die again and again, I shall return. That is a cool card. And surprisingly, that wasn't even the rare. The rare that we got is Genova. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to Genova's power on up to one other target creature. That creature becomes a mutant in addition to its other types. Whenever a mutant you control dies during your turn, you draw cards equal to its power. That is cool. That is very cool artwork. Very cool. Got another wizard and hero token card. We got Go-Go from Final Fantasy VI. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control X times. You may choose new targets for the copies. This ability can't be copied and X can't be 0. Interesting. We got a basic mountain. We got the Gisel Greens. Gotta feed our Chocobos. Create a 2/2 green bird creature token. We got Magic Damper. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn. Untap it. You're going to wish you hadn't. We got a Cloudbound Moogle. Flying. When this creature enters, put a +1 counter on target creature. We got another summon. We got Ifrit from Final Fantasy VIII. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Add a fire mana. Not bad for a human. We got an Ahriman. Flying and Death Touch. Sacrifice another creature or artifact. Draw a card if you spend 3 mana. That thing was not fun to fight in Final Fantasy XIV. Cool Seymour art. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it in the owner's graveyard. We got another Vintage Limit Break. And we got another Borderless card. And I think this might actually be... It might be one of the Through the Ages card, because that's his artwork. So in this crossover, there are these special cards that are called Through the Ages, and it's basically where they have the original Yoshitaka Amano artwork as the card. So if I remember correctly, these are kind of rare in the set. You only have like a 1 out of so many chances to get one. So that's really cool if that is the case, which it looks like it is. That's our first card where it's the Yoshitaka Amano artwork. Princess Sarah. Legendary creature, human monk. You may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. That seems like a pretty powerful card. We got the Phantom Train. and it's got Cyan, Sabin, and Shadow running away from it. That's pretty cool. Artifact Vehicle Trample. We got Ring of the Lucy. We got Shantoto, Tactician Magician from Final Fantasy XI. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Shantoto gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. If X is 4 or more, draw a card. And then we got Saz as the rare. Legendary creature, human pilot. When Saz enters, you may search your library for a bird or basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Whenever Saz attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then double the number of +1/+1 counters on that creature. Nice. Seems like a good combo for that Chocobo card that we had earlier. Got another art card. A bunch of Moogles. I feel like I should know this. I think this is from Final Fantasy XIV. Those look like the Moogles that you come across several times in Final Fantasy XIV. Yep. Good King Mogmog. And we got a Fat Chocobo summon. Wark, create a 2/2 green bird creature. And then Kerplunk, creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. We got another land, Rabanastra from Final Fantasy XII. We got Weapons Vendor, 2/2. We got Haste Magic. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains haste until end of turn. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it until your next end step. Shinra Reinforcements. When this creature enters, mill 3 cards and you gain 3 life. To mill 3 cards, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Town Greeter. Ice Magic. Tiered. Blizzard. Blizzara. Blizzaga. Sahagin. Merfolk Warrior from Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy XIV art. We got Monk's Fist. Artifact. Makes you the monk job. We got Rufus Shinra. Whenever Rufus Shinra attacks, if you don't control a creature named Darkstar, create Darkstar, a legendary 2/2 white and black dog. Interesting. Unexpected Request. Like the Final Fantasy IX artwork. Travel the Overworld. Draw 4 cards. Orin's Inspiration. Attacking creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn. And then the rare is Fire Crystal. Red spells you cast cost 1 mana less. Creatures you control have haste. For 4 mana, create a token that's a copy of the target creature you control. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Got another token, Elemental, another hero. We got Dark Knight's Greatsword, Charlian, Nation of Scholars, Final Fantasy XIV land. We got a Balam T-Rexar. Trample. When this creature enters, you gain 3 life. Forest Cycling. Discard this card, search your library for a forest card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Sometimes it's better to run. Wise words. We got Dragoon's Wyvern. Got a Gaily Cat. Flying Vigilance. As long as you control 2 or more artifacts, this creature gets +2/+0. We got Suplex. Look at that. Look at that art. Sabin going to suplex that train. Choose one. Suplex deals 3 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Or exile target artifact. That is so cool. That is such a cool nod to Final Fantasy VI. We got Namazu Trader. Final Fantasy XIV. We got the Iron Giant. It's got Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. That's a 6/6. It costs 7 mana to summon, though. Got a World Map artifact. And so their quest began. There's Ultros, the obnoxious octopus. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun on it. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 8 mana was spent to cast it, put 8+1 counters on Ultros. Yikes. Dragoon's Lance. Job Select. Otherwise known as floor tanks. Coliseum Behemoth. Trample. Whenever this creature enters, choose one. Destroy target artifact or draw a card. And we got Fang from Final Fantasy XIII. Whenever 1 or more cards leaves your graveyard, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. This ability triggers only once each turn. That's cool. I see a borderless rare coming up. It is Hope. Hope Estheim from Final Fantasy XIII. Lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent mills X cards, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. That's pretty cool. I like the 13 in the background there. Oh, hold on, guys. We got some food. Got a food token. And another hero. A machinist. Ooh, look at that. Golbez. Crystal Collector. Whenever an artifact you control enters, surveil 1. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 or more artifacts, return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Then if you control 8 or more artifacts, each opponent loses life equal to that card's power. That is really cool artwork. Yes, kitty. My cat approves as well. Oh, that's the rare. I thought I did it right. Oh, I just kind of cheated. We got a mythic in this pack. Well, there's the rare. And we got Mountain, basic land. We got Prish's Wonderlings. That is such cool art. Got another Keycurn Merchant. Slash of Light. Red Mage's Rapier. Black Mage's Rod. There's a new card. Hillgigas. Trample and Haste. Mountain Cycling. 5/4. Monk's Fist. There's Giat, King of the Dwarves. Final Fantasy IV. Double Strike. Whenever Giat or another dwarf you control enters, and whenever an equipment you control enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Poison the Waters. I saw this in the previews. Look at that art. That's where Kefka poisons the Castle of Doma's water supply in Final Fantasy VI. Showing just how truly despicable he is. Sorcery. Choose one. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. Or target player reveals their hand. You choose an artifact or creature card from it. That player discards that card. Nothing beats the sweet music of hundreds of voices screaming in unison. Oh, Kefka. That is cool. That is a cool card. We got a Coral Sword. Another artifact, equipment. Oh, we got another transformation card. Side quest, raise a chocobo. When this enchantment enters, create a 2/2 green bird creature token with whenever this land you control enters, this token gets +1/+0. At the beginning of your first main phase, if you control 4 or more birds, transform this enchantment into a black chocobo. Creature bird. When this permanent transforms into black chocobo, search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Land card. Whenever a land you control enters, birds you control gain +1/+0 until end of turn. That's cool. And then we got a mythic card, and it's a summon. It is Bahamut. Nothing on the back. So we got a Bahamut mythic. That's really cool. So our first mythic card. Got another art series. Oh, look at that. Red 13. That is cool. That is really cool. Oh. Alright, we got Sahagin. Got another little new land, Guadasalam, from Final Fantasy X. We got Paladin's Arm, job select, become a Paladin. Sabatender. Reach and landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. We got Undercity, Dire Rat. We got Chocobo Kick. We got Dreams of Laguna. Look at that artwork from Final Fantasy VIII. Surveil 1, then draw a card. Don't go back on your word. Come on. Go wave to her. And then he gets a leg cramp. Poor guy. We got a magic pot. When this creature dies, create a treasure token. Spend 2, exile target card from graveyard. We got White Mage's Staff. Artifact equipment, job select. We got another Borderless. This time it's Vayne from Final Fantasy XII. Vayne Solidor. Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. We got Ash from Final Fantasy XII. Whenever Ash attacks, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. We got Circle of Power. Black Mage always needs his ley lines. And of course, you know, they're never going to move from it. We got a Thief's Knife, Job Select. We're getting a lot of the job cards. And then our rare is the Lunar Whale from Final Fantasy IV. Flying. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. As long as the Lunar Whale attacked this turn, you may play the top card of your library. Very cool. I have a very vocal cat right now because he wants me to pay attention to him. Alright. Got another bird token. Another hero, this time a bard. I'm guessing they're going to have all the Final Fantasy XIV jobs as tokens. We got another Lionheart. We got a Wasteland. Rook Turret. Aerith Rescue Mission. Light of Judgment. Look at that. Light of Judgment deals 6 damage to target creature. Destroy up to 1 equipment attached to that creature. I was here. I saw when Kefka used his Light of Judgment to torch the village of Mobliz. That is really cool artwork. Sephiroth's Intervention. Gigantoad. Another Syncopot. Blitzball. Goal! Sacrifice this artifact, draw 2 cards. Ooh, we got Garnet, Princess of Alexandria. Lifelink. Whenever Garnet attacks, you may remove a lore counter from each of any number of sagas you control. Summons. They call it the sagas or the summons in this game. Put a +1/+1 counter on Garnet for each lore counter removed this way. That is really cool artwork. Look at that. We've got the Relentless XATM 092. The spider robot from Final Fantasy VIII. This creature can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. Spend 8, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty cool. Kind of similar to the mechanic in the game. Samurai's Katana. The Emperor of Palamecia. Spend this mana only to cast a non-creature spell. Water or fire. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent, put a +1/+1 counter on the Emperor. If it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, transform it. Oh, I didn't even realize it was a transform. It was a transformation card. Look at that. The Lord Master of Hell. Starfall. Whenever the Lord Master attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard. That is very interesting. Very interesting card. Nice. And then our rare, if you already saw, was Cloud. Oh, it's a mythic. So another mythic. Cloud Midgar Mercenary. When Cloud enters, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. As long as Cloud is equipped, if an ability of Cloud or an equipment attached to it triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. I'm going to assume he's going to be pretty broken with the Buster Sword, which we have not pulled yet. That is really cool. Got a treasure and a assuming that is a white mage. It looks like a white mage staff. White mage from Final Fantasy 14. Well, we were just spoiled of what the rare is, but we'll get to it. That is a card that I have been awaiting. Magic Pot. We got a Swamp. We got a Malboro. Those things suck to face in the games. Bad Breath. When this creature enters, each opponent discards a card, loses 2 life, and exiles the top 3 cards of their library. We got Bard's Bow. Job Select. Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum. You're not alone. Look at that. Probably one of the greatest moments of Final Fantasy IX. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If you control 3 or more creatures, it gets +4/+4 until end of turn instead. But you've always protected us. But you still don't understand that we looked out for you too. And probably one of the greatest soundtrack songs in the series. Another Light of Judgment. We got a Loporrit Scout. Look at that. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/+1 until the end of the turn. Blitzball. We got another summon. Fenrir. That's cool. We got the Albed Salvagers. There's Quistis. Blue Magic. When Quistis Trepi enters, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. That is cool. That is really cool artwork. We got Summoner's Grimoire, Final Fantasy 14, Job Select, and then alright, we've got a rare transformation card. We got Cecil, Dark Knight. Death Touch, Darkness. Whenever Cecil deals damage, you lose that much life. Then if your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, untap Cecil and transform it. And then it transforms into Cecil, Redeemed Paladin. Lifelink, Protect. Whenever Cecil attacks, other attacking creatures gain indestructible until the end of the turn. This is my battle, one I must fight alone to atone for my wrongs. That is cool. Look at that. Look at that artwork. These are just so much fun to open as a Final Fantasy fan. Got more food. And we got another rare that was just kind of spoiled because it's a transformation card. We got Monk's Fist, Vector, Imperial Capital. Look at that. Final Fantasy 6. Nice. Fate of the Suncrest, Mysidian Elder, Hecdies. Final Fantasy... I remember it more from Final Fantasy 9, but it does say Final Fantasy 2 at the bottom. We got another Fat Chocobo summon. Sage's Nowlinths. Job Select. Another Hillgigas. World Map. Gladiolus. Chocobo Racetrack. That's cool. Battle menu. This is cool. Choose one. Attack. Create a 2/2 White Knight creature. Ability. Target creature gets +0/+4 until end of turn. Magic. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Or item, you gain 4 life. That's really cool. That's also Final Fantasy VI artwork. That's cool. Oh, look at that. We got X-Death. Void Warlock. When X-Death enters, you gain 3 life. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 6 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, transform X-Death. We got 2 transformation cards to finish this pack out. So transform X-Death into Neo X-Death. Dimensions End. Trample. Neo X-Death's power is equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. That is cool. And then we've got a rare Vana, Heart of Hydaelyn. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Hero Sundering. Cost 7. Exile target non-land permanent. Transform Vana. Activate only as a sorcery. And then she transforms into Hydaelyn the Mother Crystal. Indestructible. Blessing of Light. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. Until your next turn, it gains Indestructible. If that creature is a legendary, draw a card. That is cool. Got another treasure. And a warrior from Final Fantasy 14. Got another transformation card. Side quest, catch a fish. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's an artifact or creature card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you put a card into your hand this way, create a food token and transform this enchantment into Cooking Campsite. Add a white mana. Spend 3, sacrifice an artifact. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That's cool. We got Baron, Airship Kingdom. Got an Ice Flan. We got Chocomog Summon, Stampede. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Item Shopkeep, Malboro. Got a Bard's Bow, Job Select. Adventurer's Airship, Artifact Vehicle, Flying. Whenever this vehicle attacks, draw a card, then discard a card. Vane's Treachery. Kicker. Sacrifice an artifact or creature. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. If this spell is kicked, that creature gets -6/-6 instead. Got Barrett Wallace. Reach. Whenever Barrett Wallace attacks, it deals damage equal to the number of equipped creatures you control to defending player. We got Sleep Magic, Enchant Creature. We got Sleep Magic, Enchantment, Enchant Creature. When this aura enters, tap Enchanted Creature. Enchanted Creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. When Enchanted Creature is dealt damage, sacrifice this aura. We got a Cactar, Trample. At the beginning of your end step, if this creature didn't enter the battlefield this turn, return it to its owner's hand. And we got another transformation card, Crystal Fragments. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, exile this equipment, and return it to the battlefield transformed under the owner's control. And it transforms into... Ooh, Alexander. I didn't even notice that. It's the Final Fantasy IX. It's the Final Fantasy IX Alexander. So yeah, they're summoning it there. And then it transforms into Alexander. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to creatures you control this turn. And then basically tap all creatures your opponent controls. Very cool. And then the rare was... It's Vaughn. Nobody cares. Whenever one or more scouts, pirates, and or rogues you control deal combat damage to a player, exile the top card of the player's library. You may cast it. If you don't, create a treasure token. Whenever you cast a spell you don't own, put a +1/+1 counter on each scout, rogue, or pirate you control. Cool artwork at least. Just terrible character. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's another warrior. Ooh, look at that. Edgar, King of Figaro. When Edgar enters, draw a card for each artifact you control. Two-headed coin. The first time you flip one or more coins each turn, those coins come up heads and you win those flips. Sabin. Let's settle this with the toss of a coin. That is really cool. I really like that card. Oh, that's the rare too. That might mean that we have another mythic in this, because I pulled two. So yeah, that's a rare. Prima Vista. Flying. Got a mountain. Got another Final Fantasy VIII Ifrit. Ahriman. Balam T-Rex. Dragoon's Wyvern. Cloudbound Moogle. Syncopate. Adventures in. Gladiolus. Chocobo Racetrack. Battle Menu. Wow, our first, well, with the exception of Edgar, I think that was our first all duplicate pack. And then Shambling Seath. So yeah, I guess I did just mess up with the order. So Edgar was the rare. That's cool. I mean, we will eventually reach the point where we're going to have a lot of common, uncommon duplicates. We got another art card. We got Yuna. Alright. We got Ice Magic. Another Baron, Airship Kingdom. Another Suplex. Go suplex that train. It's canon. It really happened in Final Fantasy VI. A man suplexed a train. Namazu Trader. Airship Crash. Retrieve the Esper. Fate of the Suncrist. Iron Giant. Vincent's Limit Break. Choco Comet. That's new. Choco Comet deals X damage to any target. Create a 2/2 green bird creature token with... Whenever a land you control enters, this token gets +1/+0. Adelbert Steiner. Look at that. Legendary creature, lifelink. Adelbert Steiner gets a +1/+1 for each equipment you control. One of the best characters in Final Fantasy IX. We got Cargo Ship. Another Final Fantasy IX reference. Flying Vigilance. We got Bart and Boko. Oh, that's a rare. So there's two rares in this. Excuse me. Legendary creature. Affinity for birds. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each bird you control. When Bart and Boko enters, each other bird you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controls. Nice. Oh man. We got a mythic Kefka card. And it transforms. I wonder what it transforms into. Kefka, Court Mage. Whenever Kefka enters or attacks, each player discards a card. Then you draw a card for each card type amongst cards discarded this way. Spend 8 mana. Each opponent sacrifices a permanent of their choice. Transform Kefka. Activate only as a sorcery. And it transforms into Kefka, Ruler of Ruin. Look at that. Look at that art. That is so cool. Flying. Whenever an opponent loses life during your turn, you may draw that many cards. That is cool. That is a really cool card. And it's a mythic. Look at that. This was a good pack. This was a very good pack. We got a wizard, another bird, all right, we got Helgigus, Gungaga, Goobdoo Gardener, Final Fantasy 11, add a green land, Scorpion Sentinel, Final Fantasy 7. As long as you control 7 or more lands, this creature gets +3/+0. Got a coral. Call the Mountain Chocobo. Got a Cute Shrub for rare. Creature Zombie Horror. Whenever this creature enters, choose one. Destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. Interesting. We got Commune with Beavers. A lot of new cards in this pack. Loperate Scout. Rydia's Return. Creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. Oh, choose one. Or return up to 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. We got another land, Eden, Seat of the Sanctum, Final Fantasy 13. Lock Coal, look at that. Death Touch Lifelink. Whenever Lock Coal deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. That is cool. That is cool artwork. And we got, two transformation cards to close this pack out, which is probably going to be my last pack for this video. I've got a lot more, and I didn't realize that I was already going on for almost an hour. So I'll probably do a part 2 in another day or two. But I've had fun opening these so far today. Alright, so we've got Ultimecia, Time Sorceress. Whenever Ultimecia enters or attacks, Surveil 2. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 4 mana and exile 8 cards from your graveyard. If you do, transform Ultimecia. And Ultimecia transforms into Ultimecia Omnipotent. Menace. This creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. Time Compression. Whenever this creature transforms into Ultimecia Omnipotent, take an extra turn after this one. Time. It will not wait. No matter how hard you hold on, it escapes you. That is cool. That is very cool artwork. This is just an uncommon too. This isn't even a rare. That is cool. That is a cool card. And then our rare, was another transformation card. And it's our ex-boyfriend, the one we all love and hate, Xenos. Xenos Ye Galvis. My first friend. When Xenos Ye Galvis enters, choose a creature an opponent controls. Until end of turn, creatures other than Xenos and the chosen creature get -2/-2. When the chosen creature leaves the battlefield, transform Xenos. And then Xenos transforms into Shinryu, Transcendent Rival. Flying. As this creature transforms into Shinryu, choose an opponent. Burning Chains. When the chosen player loses the game, you win the game. Whoa. Okay, so hold on a second. As this creature transforms into Shinryu, choose an opponent. Burning Chains. When the chosen player loses the game, you win the game. So I'm guessing this is if you were playing against multiple people? Because that seems kind of broken otherwise. If you just choose an enemy, and if that enemy dies, you win the game. So I think they're actually referring to an actual player, like a human player. But yeah, that's still a really interesting card. There he is. There's the madman. The guy who would never take no for an answer. Alright. And then I figured to close this one out, let's take a look at the Tidus Commander deck that I already opened, because it came with a lot of cool stuff. It came with tokens that you could use. Came with a little rule booklet, so if you don't know how to play Magic, you can open this up and it kind of goes over everything. And then let me split this deck into two. So the Commander decks are 100 cards. Each one is unique. There's no duplicates. And yeah, there's for the Commander format, they're really fun to play. So we got Tidus, Yuna's Guardian. It's technically a mythic legendary creature. We got Yuna, another mythic Grand Summoner. We got Auron, Venerated Guardian, a rare. We got Chocobo Knights, another rare card. Gata and Luzu. Lord Discal Guado. Protection Magic. We got the Ixion Summon. These are all rare cards so far. Yojimbo. Summoner Sending. Blitzball Stadium. We got Lulu, Stern Guardian. Legendary creature. Owaka, at your service. Owaka, Traveling Merchant. Riku. The Veil 4 Summon. Maester Seymour. Look at that idiot. We got Sphere Grid. We got the Magus Sister Summon. We got Trommel, Seymour's butler. I didn't realize that he was his butler in the game. Yuna's Decision. Yuna's Whistle. These are all rare cards so far. I didn't realize there'd be this many rares. Kamari, Valiant Guardian. Shalinda, Yevon Acolyte. Sin, Unending Cataclysm. And then Waka, a Devoted Guardian. So pretty much the entire cast of Final Fantasy X characters is in this deck. Collective Effort, Damning Verdict, Farewell, Luminous Bloodmoth. That's a mythic. Why is that a mythic? Whenever a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. Very interesting. Promise of Loyalty. Resourceful Defense. What is Tidus doing there? Looks like they're arguing. Scholar of New Horizons. Sunscorch Regent. Together Forever. Chasm Skulker. Inexorable Tide. Pull from Tomorrow. Bane of Progress. Fight Rigging. Forgotten Artifact. Generous Patron. Gyre Save. Hardened Scales. Incubation Druid. Path of Discovery. These are all rare cards. I didn't realize that. Are all the cards in a commander deck rare? Rampant Rejuvenator. Tireless Tracker. Altered Ego. Endless Detour. Fathom Mage. Walking Ballista. Brushland. Calm Lands. Canopy Vista. Exotic Orchard. Flooded Grove. Fortified Village. A bunch of land cards now. So yeah, tons of land cards. Port Town, Prairie Stream. Tons and tons of land cards. Destroy Evil. Oh, now we're in commons. Okay. So yeah, those were all rare. This entire stack. These were all rare cards and one mythic. Well, 3 mythics. 3 mythics and 1 rare in one commander deck. We got Destroy Evil, Grateful Apparition, Path to Exile, Offer You Can't Refuse, Dusk Shell Crawler, Farseek, Inspiring Call. Ha 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 ha. Wait, no. Ha 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 ha. Draw a card for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Those creatures gain indestructible until end of turn. That's good. That's cool. That's a funny card. 3 visits to Zhuge Liang. Bred for the Hunt. Arcane Signet. Everflowing Chalice. Soul Ring. Ash Barrens. More lands. There's going to be a lot more lands. That might be all that's left. I think that's all that's left. More tokens. Token creatures. And some tokens. So, I mean, yeah, that was a pretty interesting deck. That's what was included in the commander deck. The Tidus Final Fantasy X commander deck. And then, this fell out of a pouch from the commander deck. It is a collector's booster sample pack. So there's probably 1 card in here if I had to take a guess. There's 1 card. So what these collector's boosters are, they're really expensive. It's a booster pack of 15 cards that has it has a higher chance of having mythic rarities in them But if not, it's all rares. And these things are so expensive. A single pack that comes with 15 cards was like $60. I did not buy this. I did not spend that money on that. This came in the commander deck. This fell out of one of the sleeves, so very interesting. I'm very curious to see what's in it. It feels like there's maybe one card, but there's a chance that it could be a mythic rarity. If not, it should at least be a rare. So let's go ahead and see. Let's close this video out by seeing what was in here. Okay, I count 2 cards. There's more where that came from. Find exciting treatments like these and more in Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy collector boosters. I would love to, but I could not justify spending $60 on a pack of 15 cards. I don't even like what I spent on this stuff. But let's see what we get. Yuna's Whistle. Something that we already had in the Commander's deck. So that's a rare. Oh, we did. Okay. Okay. We did get a rare Kefka, Dancing Mad. Look at that. During your turn, Kefka has Indestructible. At the beginning of your end step, exile a card at random from each opponent's graveyard. You may cast any number of spells from among cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs. Then each player who owns a spell you cast this way loses life equal to its mana value. That's a pretty sick card. Look at that. Look at that artwork. So, I mean, yeah, that was a collector's booster. I'm glad I didn't spend $60 on that. But, yeah. So that was included with the Commander deck. But anyway, I think I will make a part 2 because I still have a lot of packs that I can open. But I didn't realize that this was going to be this long. And then I also have the Final Fantasy VI Terra Commander deck that we can look at next time. So I'll make a part 2. And thanks for watching.